Go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the August 18th, 2025 Town Council meeting. Let's see, first order of business, if you would all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Good evening. First in front of us is public comments. Public comments, no actions will be taken on this item. Public comment is an opportunity for town residents and other interested individuals to speak about items that are not on the agenda. This comment period is limited to 30 minutes of total time, with each individual allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to speak. You must sign up ahead of time in order to comment, and that sign up begins 30 minutes before the start of the meeting. The council will accommodate as many speakers as possible during this time with preference to town residents. But if any public comment extends beyond the allotted 30 minutes, town council will continue the comment period at the end of the meeting prior to adjourning for those who signed up before the meeting. As any matters raised by individuals during public comment are not on the agenda and other potentially interested parties would not therefore be aware of this discussion of these matters, the town council will not engage in dialogue regarding items raised during public comment. With that, are there any members in public comment? I have a Michelle, a Jamie, and a Michael to comment apparently. No? Are there any members of the public wishing to address this council in public comment? Seeing none, we'll open and close public comment at 7:01 p.m. and move on to reports, items, and comments from Mayor and Town Council. Ms. Wilkes, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so on August 9th, I attended the ribbon cutting for, I can never say it right, Vinalonzo's. Hopefully I said that right, Lana. Vinalonzo's Tacos here in Parker. For those of you that know, I'm a native to Parker, and one of the owners of this place is also a native, and her and I have known each other since we were 6 years old. So it was really wonderful to be a part of that and welcome another business to our town. On the 13th, I had this month's women's experience through the Chamber of Commerce with a bunch of local business owners who are women and higher up employees that are women, and that's good to always get together. On the 14th, we had the Apex Waste Management ribbon cutting. They are not new to Parker. In fact, I learned they're one of our largest business for employees in Parker, but they have expanded and they've added more trucks, and so they did a kind of a celebration ribbon cutting, which was wonderful. And then on the 15th, I had the Douglas County Youth Initiative 20-year celebration, and that was just a lot of fun to see our youth in all of the different municipalities in Parker be there and to celebrate the wonderful work that the Douglas County Youth Initiative does.
Thank you, Brandy. Todd?
Nothing to report other than I took my son to college. You're not crying, I'm crying.
John?
Thank you. On the 5th, I had lunch with the finance director of E470 at Black House. Great lunch, by the way, local place. Talked about, I'm chair of the finance committee, so we talked about finance committee things, long-term debt, fiscal management, potential opportunities in the future. Good meeting. On the 6th, I had a Douglas County Transportation Forum. What that is, it's an offshoot of DRCOG. It's all of largely the appointees to the DRCOG board within Douglas County. The topics the big one was the RTD Highlands Ranch service and costs. There was some discussion within that concept on potentially maybe expanding or altering Parker RTD service. That was brought to us by a comment, Commissioner Teal. So again, I think staff was there, and they'll talk internally about what that means with Douglas County staff. We had a board work session, DRCOG board work session right after that. They talked about the electrical grid status and project demands in the future. On the 8th, Town of Parker, we had an investment advisory committee meeting, reviewed Town of Parker investments with our investment advisor and our citizen panel of 2 intensely qualified individuals here in the community. All went well. All is go according to plan and policy. And on the 14th, I had an E470 board meeting. There was an item on that, which I believe I communicated to all of council and mayor. There was a Town of Parker project request. There's a potential project up by the E470 and Parker Road off-ramp coming onto Parker eastbound. The project is going to be a slip ramp, a button hook, if you will. We've used different terms in the past. Of that off-ramp, we're going to potentially have a slip or an additional ramp onto 20 Mile to try to mitigate traffic on Parker Road during high-intensity traffic periods. It'll also potentially increase safety because that will allow E470 patrons to get on 20 Mile. And instead of going from the right-hand lane to the left-hand lane to make a left on Pine, they can just use 20 Mile to get to Pine and then go through in a more safe environment. So that item I recused myself on, but that was approved. We asked for $2 million. The total project will be $4 million, and it was approved unanimously. So that's all.
Thank you, John. Eric?
I had a similar week as Todd. Let me just leave it at that.
Ms. Hefta, please.
Yes, there was a Douglas County Homeless Initiative meeting, and they did the point in time results from this past July. And you can go to douglas.co.us to read more about that. And then my family went to the dog event in Salisbury Park this past weekend, and actually they charged the dogs a fee, but not the adults with the kids. So that was fun, and they enjoyed the dogs. Thank you.
Thank you. And for myself, a couple fests in my past. We had Brewfest. A few of us sit up here are Rotarians, and we host a Brewfest that raises dollars for local community charities and not-for-profits. Very successful event. Well done by the committee that runs that. And then Saturday I had the Car Fest. Again, a local group called the Parker Cruisers puts on an event, and that event benefits the Parker Task Force. Dollars raised. Big day for the task force that day. They also had a food collection. Again, our Rotary is one of those collectors at one of the food stores, but I know that they're out at most of the food stores in Parker. So a big day for the task force that, of course, does lots of good things in our town. And then Tuesday, I had the honor of going down to the Board of County Commissioners, where they recognized 20 years of service to the Douglas County Youth Initiative. I, as a past chair, was down there in support of Marsha Alston, the one who makes it all happen, and to see her get her just due, that is the recognition she deserves for the work that this group does for our county is absolutely amazing. And then in happenstance, I look back now, I didn't see this on the agenda when I went down, but it was there. Also in front of the county commissioners was their payouts for the opioid grants, which we take part in and then allow the county to use. $100,000 of that went to Parker Valley Hope, which is a bastion of healing over here at the edge of town, an incredible organization that helps people through their journey to sobriety. And they received $100,000 from the county and in a roundabout way, the town of Parker. So very, very happy I was down there for that. I did speak on that a little bit, but I was happy that I happened to be for that. And that's all I have. Next up, we have consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with one motion and a vote. There will be no separate discussion of consent agenda items unless council votes to remove an item for individual discussion. Ordinances on consent agenda are for introduction only and will not be removed for discussion. Council, in front of you are items 4A through 4F. I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve consent agenda items 4A through 4F.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Wilks, a second from Hendricks. Hendricks?
Yes.
Wilks?
Yes.
Dyak?
Yes.
Franzen?
Yes.
Hefta. And consent agenda passes unanimously. And into business. First in front of us is ordinances. Specifically, item 5, ordinance number 9.389 on second reading, a bill for an ordinance to approve the intergovernmental agreement between the town of Parker and Parker Water and Sanitation District regarding cost sharing for manhole and water valve maintenance. And presenting is Mr. Hudson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So a little background, we annually mill and overlay some of our asphalt roads around the town. As part of that inventory process for roughly about 2 decades, we have been completing an inventory of all the Parker water and sanitation infrastructure that has to be adjusted with the asphalt work. These consist of water valves and manholes, and I'll show you a picture of what they look like here in a minute. That visual inspection identifies maintenance And typical maintenance can consist of cleaning debris. A lot of times the water valves have rock, dirt in it, or damaged infrastructure. For example, we've seen cracked manhole lids before. We've seen lids that you can't open because of debris or corrosion. In the past, this inventory was provided to Parker Water for their action. In May of this year, after we gave them this list in March, they came back to us and said, hey, what do you guys think about fixing this with your contractor, and we pay you for it? So that's the whole basis of this IGA tonight. We reached out to our contractor, Brandon Sand and Gravel. They were open to completing the work. They provided pricing, $71,000. Parker Water would be responsible for funding this maintenance within 30 days of notification. The cost may change depending on the field conditions. We've had situations in the past where we couldn't get a manhole opened up, and when you opened it opened up Pandora's box. So intergovernmental agreements are being proposed to formalize the negotiations. This is a picture from Google Street View. The small circle on the left is a water valve. It's about 9 inches. It's cast iron. Inside, it looks like a straw. Goes down 4.5 to 5 feet. Keep it below frost line. And there's a water valve to basically turn water lines on and off. This one happens to be right beside a fire hydrant. Every fire hydrant in Parker has a water valve with it, so it can be isolated if need be. The picture on the right is a manhole. This basically allows access to equipment below the street. This could be a sanitary sewer or a junction of various pipes. It could be an air vac as well, but it varies by location. This is actually a special one that's a 3-foot diameter lid. It's 3 foot so they can get the valves out. There's actually an air vac below this one. So this is an inventory that our consultant puts together, and all the little dots are all the little infrastructure that Parker Water has out there. You'll be shocked the amount of water valves and manholes that they have in our roadways. This is an inventory. The highlighted one, again, we can't remove the lid, just pointing it out. Things like this, once we open it up, it might be fine. There might be more problems to fix that. So again, Parker Water wants the town to handle their infrastructure maintenance as part of the annual roadway resurfacing contract, estimated at $71,000. That may change depending on the field conditions that we run into. An IGA is being proposed to summarize this arrangement. Parker Water has already executed the IGA, and the ordinance is required to approve this intergovernmental agreement. With that, I'll answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Chris. Questions, we'll start with Laura.
This is a new IGA.
Correct. In the past, we have never done this. We've just given the list to Parker Water, and they've handled it. When I say handled it, I don't know exactly what they do with the list, but it's their responsibility to take. We're just identifying their problems for maintenance.
Just want to make sure this was a new one.
This is completely brand new. We've never done this arrangement with Parker Water.
Thank you.
Eric, questions?
No questions.
John, questions?
Yeah, Chris. So would it be fair to say that if we let Parker Water and Sanitation do this, it would probably cost them more? And I'm sorry.
No, I think it's about the same cost because we actually got a price from their preferred contractor.
Okay.
So we're just passing it through back to them, and they reviewed the pricing. So I think it would cost them about the same. They
Okay.
just don't have to deal with the headache of it.
So it's just, I mean, it's more of a phasing thing.
Yep.
We're out of there out of convenience. Let's
Yep.
let's take care of our Parker Water and San, our
You know,
friends over there.
it was one of those, John, that we talked to them about. You need to get in before we start, because once we start, you got to get out of the way.
Yeah.
We have to get the project done in a certain amount of time, trying to minimize it to the impacts to the traveling public. So either you start early,
Yeah.
or you wait till the fall, and then what's going on, Brandon's kind of fitting it in with other work that they're doing.
Okay. No, it just seems like the collaboration is great. So happy that we're interacting with Parker Water and can take care of this as we do our project.
Thank you, John. Brandy?
I have two questions, one on pricing and one on infrastructure. So with the pricing, 'cause that's the simpler one, the 71,210, do you know how that figure was determined? Was it like unit pricing, lump sum?
It was unit pricing, and I can provide a detailed breakdown to council. I don't have it with me, but I have it back on my desk. So, but it's detailed based on what we saw in the inventory of work. To clean a water valve was this price, to replace a manhole lid was this price, traffic control for everything on the list was this price. I can provide it through, after this meeting, through Michelle.
Okay, thank you. And then on the infrastructure, on the picture where you showed us the example from Google Maps of the water valve and of the manhole cover, I noticed there's stress fractures going up to both of those that have clearly been patched and repaired. I'm curious if this is a continuing issue with their stuff, and if so, who's going to be responsible for fixing the stress fractures?
Well, so one of the bad things about all roads is they crack, whether it be asphalt or concrete. Whenever you have I'm going to call it a perforation in your pavement, it's a weak spot and it tends to break along that point. It's cost of doing business. It's just something we take care of. For the overlay that we did this year, basically we dug down and patched those cracks when we had the surface milled off, so we paved through and got a nice new surface. So hopefully the cracks don't reflect back up.
Okay, but if they do, it sounds like it'll be on us for repairs on that.
It's correct, yeah. We're unique here in Parker that, take for example, Castle Rock. The Water and Sand District is part of the city, so it's all part of their cost. This is just a cost of having roads. You could also have public service company gas valves in the street. You can have fiber optic vaults. There's all kinds of infrastructure in our roads. It's just a cost of doing business, Brandy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brandy. Todd?
No questions.
Just real quick, when we look at this, we're not talking about a manhole that over time has gotten lower and lower as layers of street have gotten up. So we've got one on Club that will take out a tire. We're not talking about raising those manholes up, correct?
So as part of the overlay project, what we do is we go through first and we actually take out all the manhole lids, mill through them, and then we adjust them back up to grade when we're done. That's cost of doing the mill and overlay, to get a good, nice ride for the road. So that's a cost on us to adjust them. But sometimes, like you're talking about, Josh, you have to, what I call modify a manhole because it's settled or the road is raised up or settled around the manhole. Those are, again, project costs when we do the mill and overlay to get that back to grade so it doesn't tear off your front of your suspension of your car.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then quickly, again, the 71,000 is coming from Parker Water and Sand.
Correct. And so we'll invoice them once, assuming this IGA gets approved, we'll invoice them for that. Then when we're done with the work, let's say they decide not to do some of the work. We'll write them a check back. If there's more work because we open up Pandora's box, they'll write us a check. So it's no cost to the town to do this. It's totally a park, because again, it's their infrastructure that we're doing identified maintenance to.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. With that, we'll open up public comment at 7:18. Is there any member of the public wishing to address council on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment at 7:19. Well, that was quick. And we'll go back for comments. Todd?
Nope. Pretty basic item I ask here, and Parker Water is a great partner, so I'm approve of this.
Brandy?
Yeah, I appreciate the work on that and the thoroughness that you guys have gone through to get the best accurate pricing that you can for that and to work with them. So thanks.
John?
Yeah, no, I'm supportive. I think, I think working together in this circumstance makes sense.
Thank you, Eric.
Understanding this is a cost for Parker Water and they're just going to reimburse the work, I'm also in support.
And Laura?
I'm in support.
Thank you. With that, I would entertain a motion on the ordinance.
I move to approve ordinance 9.389 on second reading.
Second.
I have a motion from Hefta and a second from Franzen. Todd, how do you vote?
Yes.
Brandy?
Aye.
John?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And that passes unanimously. Thank you, Chris. Next up in front of us is item 6, contracts over $500,000. First contract, Salisbury Regional Park Phase 1 construction contract, CIP 23-017, in the amount of $26,356,920.19. And presenting is Mr. Brett Collins.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm back again with Salisbury Regional Park, but this time I get to ask for an award of contract for the project, finally, after all the other meetings where we discussed concepts and what we were going to build. So a little background on the project. In 2009, the town acquired the 91 acres of parkland just north of the existing Salisbury ball fields and equestrian park. And it was named Salisbury Park North at that point. As time went on, the council approved a master plan in 2014, just a few years later, that had a variety of park amenities shown in there. Since then, we've actually moved the project forward quite a bit and did a site plan in 2025 that town council approved for a phase 1 project. And that includes the 45-acre park expansion, which is 2 synthetic turf lighted multi-use fields, 4 lighted natural grass baseball, softball fields, covered bleachers, shaded playground, batting cages, connection to Cherry Creek Regional Trail, and then we have the parking, restrooms, landscape, and then all the infrastructure and utilities that go along with that, like the core connections, the Parker Water and Sanitation District's sewer and water, and tap fees and that go along with that. And then, of course, we have the vehicular connection to the southern fields that we'll be able to access back and forth between parking lots, between the 2 park areas. So in order to bid this project, we went ahead and pre-qualified 6 general contractors in June of this year. And from those 6, we received 5 competitive sealed bids on August 4th at 3 o'clock. For the project. The 5 bids were JHL Constructors, ECI Site Construction Management, Inc., F&F Construction, Inc., Roche Construction, Inc., and Concrete Express. FCI Constructors did not want to bid. I don't have a reason why. I think they may have had too much other projects going on. So out of those 5, the lowest conforming bid was JHL Constructors at $25,101,829.19. They're currently performing the work on the town hall expansion and doing a good job. They have good references. And we think the project construction should start here in September and then be complete by August of 2026. That's if everything goes, to plan and there's not a lot of weather and those kind of things. As all construction projects, there's always unknowns. So for the staff recommendation, we're asking for approval of a construction contract with JHL Constructors for $25,101,829.19. And then we need to include a 5% owner's contingency of $1,255,091, which will be held outside of the contract and used for unforeseen additional expenses that will inevitably arise from the construction project. And then approve a total project budget of $26,356,920.19. We have funds budgeted to cover the construction cost in the 2025 Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Fund. So with that, I'd take any questions.
Thank you. We'll open up for questions. We'll start with Laura, but first, I just want to make sure that our questions are focused on the contract awarding and the cost to the contractor, or the cost of the contractor to build our parks. Laura, I'll start with you.
So the cost is $26 million, and we just briefly, if you could, as this is related to the contract, right? At a very high level, how is the town, at a very high level, how is the town budgeting for this cost?
So the town budgeted $36,250,000. That was in the 2025 budget. With all the expenses, including the contingency, the Parker Water and Sand taps, the materials testing, and the core costs, we're at $28,025,818. So we have a remaining amount in our budget this year of $8,224,182. So the bids came in substantially lower on average than we anticipated. There was one outlier bid that was closer to $34 million, which was closer to our engineer's estimate. So I'm not sure what happened with the market. The estimating was a little conservative maybe. So I'm not complaining because this is a good position to be in.
Thank you, Laura. Eric?
So two questions. We add on a 5% contingency. What happens to that if it's not used? Is that paid to the contractor or is that given back to the town?
No, that's an owner's held contingency. So if we don't use those funds, will go into the Phase 2 project.
Got it. So they'll flow into.
Yeah, we'll be able to carry those over and use them in on whatever the Phase 2 project ends up being for the next year.
And then, I guess that's for future phases, but with an $8.2 million, it's not necessarily cost savings, but under budget, I mean, are those funds going to get allocated or be able to accelerate other phases of the project?
Yeah, we're working on those costs now with the consultant to see what makes the most sense to do. But we will be able to accelerate Phase 2 and build more than we initially anticipated.
Great, thank you.
John?
Thanks. As Councilmember Heft was indicating, I mean, the engineer, and Brett, you gave us the engineer estimate was $36.25 million. Quite a significant savings. You really can't speculate as to what why such a competitive bid. Was it labor? Was it inputs? Was there any thought in review of that, or you just looked at the total amount and kind of went through a protocol to make sure that they were a responsible bidder?
Well, I think some of it was the pre-qualification helped because they knew they were in a smaller bidding pool at that point.
Yeah.
And then having the competition between the bidders, I think, helps a lot when we're bidding. And that, I think, the timing of it, I think, worked out good. We're a little before some of the political stuff that's going on, maybe with tariffs. I know I had heard some of that kind of thing. It would be higher prices, so our estimators anticipated that in their costs, that steel would go up, things would go up. Well, I'm not sure that happened, and I think our timing was good when we put the bid out to get in before that those cost increases maybe happen. So I think it was just a combination of things, and I think we're in a good position now to advance Phase 2, as mentioned before. Yeah,
and I mean, kind of like you said, we've been thinking about this for a number of years, and you indicated we had a budget that allowed us to do it. How did we arrive at that? Did we bond out? Did we save? Are we trying to cash flow this thing? How are we paying for this? Or how do we arrive at being able to afford this?
Yeah, this is, as I mentioned, the master plan was originally done in 2014. So it's been 11 years now of saving every year in order to get a fund balance to be able to have that amount of money to do the project. So no, we did not do any debt to make this project happen, and we're not planning on doing any debt to move forward with the future phases.
So we made a plan, we saved, and now we can construct.
And now we can construct,
All right,
yes.
thank you.
Correct.
Brandy?
So to piggyback off of Councilmember Franzen's thing, I had one other question on the 5% owner's contingency, essentially. Historically, is that enough, do you think, if we do go over? I mean, that's little over 1.2 million. Is that enough cushion?
Yeah, I've discussed this with Chris Hudson in Public Works and the consultants, and we think the 1.2, since it's such a large number for the actual cost of the project, we don't think there's something we missed that's that large a scale, but there could be a lot of small things that add up to that amount, but we feel pretty confident. If it happened to be that we ran into something that was very unforeseen when they were digging or something, then I think we could always come back to council. We have the funding, we would just need to get it approved for additional funding if we needed it for something that happened that we didn't see.
Okay, thank you.
And Todd.
So just for a project this size, I see we have 5 bids. Is that normal, or is that maybe a little above average, or?
So this one was a little unique in that we had 12 that went for the pre-qualification, and we narrowed it down to the 6. So those were the 6 we thought were pre-qualified and could actually do the project. But yeah, I think that's probably about a normal number for that bigger project. I haven't had the opportunity to do this size of project over and over again. They're usually, in the $1 million to $5 million range. So it's a unique one. But I mean, from what I've seen on the other projects with the town hall expansion and stuff, I think we're in the ballpark for the amount of.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, with no further questions from council, we'll open up public comment at 7:31. If there's any member of the public wishing to address council on this item, please make yourself known. Seeing none, we'll close public comment at 7:31 and go back for comments, please.
Yeah, so Parks and Rec's one of the crown jewels of Parker, and being a former youth coach for lacrosse, I know I have friends over in the baseball area and other things, and there's a huge need for more ball fields. I know teams have had to practice outside of Parker, and we've had to push teams away or turn away teams that we just didn't have the capacity. So this will help. I believe this project will, once completed, will have enough fields for tournaments. First, I think 8 fields in Douglas County, which is amazing, and then all the other amenities that are coming online. So a long time coming. Hope my kids could have enjoyed it, but maybe grandkids. So either way, I'm in support.
Randy.
Yeah, I love that you guys do such a wonderful job with getting these bids and making sure that, we're being very responsible with the funding that we are spending on this, but still accommodating the strategic goal of supporting the active community. And you guys have done a very thorough job with that, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this project last week at our tail end of our study session. I'm happy to see we got a favorable bid, so we can do this. Again, people in Parker, as Councilmember Hendricks has indicated, the 3 Ps: police, public works, and parks. People want and enjoy their amenities. I know it's not only Parker, but it's Douglas County. We have some friends in Lone Tree, and we have some friends in Castle Rock who are trying to do the same thing. And for us, we had to phase it out to be fiscally responsible. And I sure hope we can accelerate that, as well as see our friends bring these amenities online in their own communities to create a better environment in Douglas County. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Eric?
So again, this is really exciting to have a bid come in this low with somebody that is qualified. Town hall expansion you mentioned. They're doing a really good job, and excited that they're lining up for this. I think a really incredible point is we've been saving and planning for 11 years for this. There's no debt. This is money that we've planned for, and I think that's great. We've been good stewards in that. Really excited. We're also going to activate a completely unused area of the town and activate it in a way that, there's need. I'm excited. Really excited for it. So
Thank you, Eric.
that's all.
Laura?
This is a great example of what a town can do to improve its Parks and Rec program and save up for it under the skilled guidance leadership of Mary Colton and Brett Collins here. We can move the town forward. We've saved up for this. We're improving the lives of the residents, and with this 4 phases of this park, and and picking a contractor that had a sealed bid and came in at the lowest bid. So thank you.
Thank you. And for myself, this is our central park. This will be our central park. This is the anchor for Parks and Rec in the town of Parker, and it deserves the attention that it's gotten. It deserves the 11 years of saving and the planning to create this, what's going to be an incredible amenity, probably for our grandchildren, but still an amazing asset for this community. As Councilman Dyak said, the three Ps, and there's a policeman in the room, so I won't say it too loud, but parks is definitely probably the number one P for our residents. They demand parks and open space and trails, and we give it to them. Takes a little while to save for it, but it's good. And then secondly, to the contractor, the process, very thorough. Some incredible names on that list. JHL rose to the top again. They rose to the top for Parker Water and Sand, our sister enterprise, and built their headquarters. They rose to the top and are building the expansion phase 2 of our town hall. And now they're cream of the crop on this one too. So well done on our staff. I am so proud to be here tonight. So with that, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the staff recommendation as part of the regular agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion from Hendricks and a second from Franzen. Hendricks, how do you vote?
Yes.
Wilkes?
Aye.
Dyak?
Yes.
Franzen?
Yes.
Hefta?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And with nothing else in front of this council, business is done. We are adjourned.